Near mint condition, the home of collected editions.
That cover's so awesome.
Absolute format is the best way to own this store. Time to empty those wallets and fill those shelves. How's it going, all you minties? Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions. And join me today for your advanced look at the Ghost Rider by Jason Aaron Omnibus. This is the new printing from Marvel Comics. So let's go ahead and get started. And welcome back, everybody. So what we're looking at here is the latest printing of Ghost Rider by Jason Aaron Omnibus. And for the longest time, this was our only Ghost Rider Omnibus. And then we got Cosmic Ghost Rider, and then I announced the Ghost Rider Danny Ketch era Omnibus Volume 1. But yeah, for over a decade, this was our only Ghost Rider Omnibus. Now, before I go any further, a big thank you to David Gabriel and the fine folks at Marvel for sending us an advance copy of this Omnibus. This Omnibus is due out in the direct market and book market on April 2nd or 3rd, depending on where you get your books. And what we're looking at here is the direct market cover. This is the one that's supplied by Greg Land. On the left-hand side is your standard edition cover. That is the one that is supplied by Mark Silvestri. The direct market cover can only be purchased at places like cheapgraphicnovels.com, waltzcomicshop.com, bdcosmos.com, comicsbugle.com, readcomics.com, dyandbreedcollectors.com, organicpricebooks.com, and In Stock Trades, Tales of Wonder, DCBS, and of course your local comic book store. While the standard edition can be purchased anywhere. Everything underneath the dust jacket is the same. So this, as I mentioned, has been previously printed before, and on the left-hand side is the original printing from 2010. That one printed at the Donnelly printer, and the one on the right, the new printing, printed at the iMac printer. Now we'll take a look at the spines, and of course that's the old Marvel Omnibus logo, and they're using the new Marvel Omnibus logo. The Ghost Rider logo seems to have gotten smaller, and again, they're using this picture for the standard edition, so it seems like they're using this spine design for the standard edition, and that picture there for the direct market cover. On the back of the book is a little blurb about Jason Aaron and his run on Ghost Rider, and what's collected in here, ISBN being $49.99 for the first printing, the original printing, and $100 for the new printing. Both of them have parental advisory. Now when we look underneath the dust jacket, this has the old design of what we used to have in Omnis, and this has a new design. So this has what I like to call the Marvel Masterworks designs. That's this faux leather finish to it. And this has an image from issue, I believe this is from issue 26 right here. So I'm going to crack this open, talk about the era that this fits into, the reading order of Ghost Rider, and then talk about what's collected in here, and giving you the pitch of the stories collected in here. Now, for that, I'll let you know when I'm about to talk about some minor spoilers. And then, of course, we'll look at the back matter and look at the extras, and then comparison to the original printing. Okay, let's go ahead and crack this omnibus open. You have some black end sheets there, and the title page, Ghost Rider. And here are your credits, Jason Aaron, and then breaking down each of the story arcs that are collected in here to let you know who worked on what. You have Jose Villarrubia on the color with Tang Enghuat doing the artwork for, I think, about half of the omnibus, honestly. Roland Boshi starting it off with Dan Brown doing the color art, and then you have Roland Boshi coming back for the Heaven on Fire miniseries. Tony Moore from Walking Dead fame. Now, what is collected in here? Collected in here is Ghost Rider issues 20 through 35, and that's from the 2006 series, as well as Ghost Rider's Heavens on Fire 6-issue miniseries, 536 pages. Now, there is a page that tells you what's happened previously, but before I talk about what's happened previously, right before this, because it does change a little bit of the status quo of Ghost Rider, this is the Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider, is what you're going to be reading about. And this being in 2006, this is long after his 90s series was over. And that was, of course, Danny Ketch. But we did see Johnny Blaze being a supporting cast member of that series. And then during this time, now it is him as the Spirit of Vengeance again. Because he is the original Ghost Rider from the early Marvel years. And then, of course, I'm not going to go into the deep history of Phantom Rider and all those characters. But I'm talking about the guy in the motorcycle. We know he's got those Hellfire tires now, like Danny. Maybe he took some pointers from Danny. So we've had miniseries since then. We had a Marvel Knights series, and then they kicked off his ongoing series again in 2006. That series was written by Daniel Way, which came off of a miniseries by Garth Ennis, which leads us to this. Alright, so minor spoilers as to what's happened previously, but it does set up the status quo of Ghost Rider. What is going on through here? So previously, during Daniel Way's run, Ghost Rider ended up leaving Hell. So he escapes Hell, and this is Johnny Blaze again as Ghost Rider. And in a series of ironic events, it turns out that this whole time, the Spirit of Vengeance wasn't made by making a deal with the devil, as we found out in the original Ghost Rider series, when there was a little bit of the twist and the demon that took over Ghost Rider, which brings Johnny Blaze back when Danny Ketch became the new Spirit of Vengeance, because he thought, oh, you're going to be possessed by an evil spirit. I know how this works. And it turns out that there's another demon. But in this series, Johnny Blaze became Ghost Rider, the Spirit of Vengeance, because of an angel named Zadkiel. An angel was the one that made him into the Spirit of Vengeance. And this angel has now claimed war on heaven. So, Johnny Blaze is riding around this whole world, Earth, trying to find a way to Zadkiel. Trying to get revenge for creating him. Because you know that even in old school Ghost Rider, he wasn't always happy being the Spirit of Vengeance. He wanted to break that. So what he does, he runs into this little bitty town where this guy at the gas station starts talking about this young boy named Lucas and how Lucas died and he saw heaven, but heaven wasn't all it was cracked up to be. Of course, pure coincidence, right? And he's staying at this hospital. So Johnny Blaze is like, where's this hospital? I'm going to go and talk to them. This is where he meets a bunch of creepy nurses at this hospital because all he wants to do is see the boy. Now, old school Johnny Blaze would have walked away when the nurses are like, all right, you need to leave, you weirdo. But this Johnny Blaze, during Jason Aaron's era, decides he's just going to go get his motorcycle, crash through here, and get the boy out of his bed and take him with him, because he has no time to waste on a bunch of nurses who turn out to be not just your everyday nurse, but turn out to be a bunch of badass warriors for their master, Zadkiel. Seems like everybody's so connected. Plus, we have the storyline with a bunch of cannibals coming out. They got free dibs on anybody that dies on this road. So the first story arc is how Johnny Blaze meets this young boy named Lucas, and he's trying to find out a way to get to heaven. So Lucas explains to him exactly what happened in heaven and why he fears to go back. Because Zadkiel has taken over heaven. There was a big war, and now Zadkiel is gonna make all of these spirits rise and all these demons rise from the earth until he's able to conquer earth as well as heaven. Nurses come hunting after them. Like I said, there's this whole cannibal side story going on. And this is what the artwork looks like. That's pretty much the first story arc, is setting up the new status quo for Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze again, and what his plan is. Then we get to the this particular storyline that introduces us to this character named the Deacon, who heard voices in his head claiming it was God to go and kill people. But as it turns out, it's not really God, it's actually Zadkiel, because you're going to hear that name a lot. The next story arc features the return of some characters that made their appearance in the 90s Ghost Rider. So with the exception of the Orb, he's been around since the classic era of Ghost Rider. But like Dogface and Blackout and Demon Ninja and this guy right here. And this is Danny Ketch. Now there's other characters that appear through here. So if you've been reading Ghost Rider for a while, it's kind of nice to see, because you start missing some of these characters after a while. Like the Caretaker shows back up. He was a character from the 90s. And even those villains, you're like, oh, what has this got to do with Ghost Rider? This feels more like a Vertigo book. And honestly, the whole book does feel like a Vertigo, almost like a Preacher type of story. We get to meet this young lady, this young nun named Sarah, and she has broken away from the Sacred Heart Convent of the Sisters of the Holy Sepulchre, and ends up joining Johnny Blaze on his journey. Now, she herself has ties to the caretaker, so she will play an important role, not just in this book, but in future Ghost Rider books. Here's the image right here, issue number 28, Ghost Rider versus Ghost Rider. So as it turns out, you get to find out that Zadkiel made many, many spirits of vengeance. So what he's doing is he's sending a bunch of his army to destroy Johnny Blaze and anybody that opposes him. So there's this huge fight. Zadkiel still has this huge battle in heaven. Like I mentioned, Sarah plays a big important part through here. And all of it leads to this giant battle that takes place between, this is the Tony Moore issues, between Johnny Blaze and Zadkiel. And that's all revealed in the little mini-series. Which also features the character known as the Son of Satan, Hellstorm, and also Jane Cutter right here, who made her appearance during the 90s era of Hellstorm. So this is a reunion of different characters, not just from this new series, but the classic series and their big battle against Zadkiel and his army. And that's pretty much the gist of this. And I'm sure the big question is, do you need to have read the Johnny Blaze stuff by Daniel Way and Garth Ennis? Not really, but I mean, as a completist, you would want to. Those are available in complete collections. And, oh yes, I forgot about the Skinbender, this Sailor Moon type of character. That one's by Tony Moore. Alright, let's welcome everybody back and look at the extras, and then we'll do a comparison. So all the way in the back, we do have some variants. Love that Wolverine variant. Jay Lee variant right there from the miniseries. And you have Roland Boschi's pencils there. And character designs. This is the Tan Anh Huat sketches for the different characters that appear through here. And the layouts by Tony Moore. And your end sheets. Oh, and these are the Marko Djurdjevic covers, like the different style of covers he was doing for the book. And your end sheets. 536 pages. Not much of an eye. And there are some spread pages through here. Lots of splash, honestly. But there are some. We'll just come back to this cover right here for the spread. You have minimal gutter loss, which we'll compare to the original printing. And as far as the paper stock, it's printed at the iMac printer, but much like the Spider-Man 2099 Omnibus Volume 2, it does have thicker, glossy paper and a little bit of bleed-through coming from the opposite side. Let's do a comparison to the 2010 printing. Okay, original printing here on the left, new printing on the right. We do have black end sheets right there. The title page looking the same. Then, of course, the credits right here. But the credits seem to have been redesigned a little bit. Actually, the font and the colors they're using are new. It's interesting. You get more of that Johnny Blaze picture. But let's look a little bit in here. So the 2010 printing has thick, glossy paper. And whereas I've already talked about the paper stock that they're using in the new printing, it's not as thick, but wanted to compare light colors like this, or whites. See, just a little bit of bleed through from the original printing and just a little more prominent over here in the new printing. But honestly, it's not very much. Wanted to compare the way that the book lays over. You get less gutter loss over here and more gutter loss on the new printing, and that's mainly due to the way that eye looks compared to the eye on this printing. So those are the differences, but everything is collected in here that was previously collected and back in print. That, as they say, is that. If you're interested in purchasing this omnibus, don't forget to check out our sponsors. BD Cosmos, the Canadian leader in graphic novels. They have a physical storefront in Montreal, Quebec, and their website, bdcosmos.com, offers 25% off your order of over $99 or more, and free shipping everywhere in Canada for every order of $200 or more.
Their shipping care is exceptional. Your books will stay cozy through the rough Canadian weather and arrive to you in near mint condition.
After checkout, let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way, and you'll be added to the monthly $25 gift card raffle. Entries are valid for new and returning customers.
Don't be afraid to call or email them. Ask them questions. Their staff is always happy to help guide you towards the right purchase. Visit their website, bdcosmos.com, for more. BD Cosmos, with rewards and raffles taking care of customers in Canada. Eh?
CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget that CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And that was the content, the page count, and build of this omnibus. And of course, the comparison to the original printing. In the comments down below, let me know which cover you're going to pick up. If you're going to pick this up, if Ghost Rider is your #1 character and you can't wait for the Danny Ketch omnibus and hopefully one day the classic Johnny Blaze era. And if you have any questions, leave them down below. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. That's it, everybody. Stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.